So welcome to what I'm terming the summer of love. And so because the heat is on, especially here in Nevada City, hotter than I've ever experienced over a long term, over 100 degrees, not my thing, but it is very unusual. So what's important is that we keep our bodies cool, our core cool. So we want to have our practice be still active so that we maintain and enhance our strength and flexibility and stamina, but to not heat the body up from the inside because there's already a lot of heat on the outside. And of course, drink a lot of water. So let's get comfortable in our seat and just take the belly and circle it around. Let's make some circular movement, bring in a little of that feminine energy, soft and easy. And just notice what you're feeling as you do this. We're drawing the belly around so we can move the sacrum, rock the pelvis, open up the hip joints a little bit, bring some circulation here, as well as into the lower back. And then let's switch direction. Just notice what that feels like. And as we do this, as the pelvis rocks back and around, you'll feel the thorax, the rib cage also shift. So the upper back will round and extend just slightly. Feel your breath moving your body. And then we'll just bring it right into center, do a little lift and round. And actually, let's start with this nice, gentle breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. When we exhale out the throat, it stimulates, it affects the vagus nerve, and it calms the nervous system. I do this a lot as I'm getting ready to sleep when I get in bed. I find that I often hold my breath, and you might catch yourself holding your breath during the day, especially when one is trying to go to sleep, to relax the nervous system, just in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. And then lift all the way up. So draw it from the crown of the head. Get a sense that you've got this long expansion from the earth to the sky through your central axis mundi, connecting earth to heavens. Sitting bones are grounded, pubic bones slightly moving away from the navel, so you've got length here at the lower abdomen, and then at the upper abdomen, hug the front ribs in a little. Take the arm bones up, back, and around. And as we do this, put your attention into the neck shoulder area, including the throat. Soften the neck and throat, relaxing the tongue, the root of the tongue, lips touching softly, lower jaw released away from the upper palate, relaxing the face. And then taking the arm bones up and back, then just settle them down. Let your upper arm bones be heavy, hanging at the elbows. And then the chin is ever so slightly dropped down, just a little bit to open the base of the skull. Close your eyes, look inside. Again, as you exhale, feel that connection to the earth through your sitting bones, releasing the weight of your legs downward, rooting down. You can even use your imagination to move from the tailbone, the sitting bones, and imagine roots growing downward into the earth, sinking them deep into the earth and grounding. It's really an important aspect of bringing balance into our daily life, is to have moments of grounding. So whether you're sitting on the ground or out in nature or walking barefoot on the ground, gift yourself some moments to really consciously connect with the earth, and she will hold you to bring you into the present moment. We can really find gratitude in the present moment for what's unfolding. So dropping in, imagination at this time, since we're inside, sinking the roots into the earth all the way down. And not just down, but wide, roots deep and wide to feel stable, connected. And when life gets busy, which it tends to do in these summer months, we tend to get a little bit out of what we call vata imbalance, which could be a little spacey, or also pitta imbalance, which is overheated and overdoing. So if you feel that in your body, mind, either one or both, the power of the pause. This is how it feels to just sit and breathe. Sometimes it's hard to sit and breathe and be still. That can be very challenging for pitta mind. Might be wanting to do something. So notice if you have that urge and just watch it and do nothing about it. Just sit. The doing is in the being. And then as you inhale, invite your attention inside, right into the space between the brow. Focus your attention here. And on my Facebook group, Simple Soulful Circle, I added a breathing practice this week. Focus and attention. So you might drop into that. And it's the same thing. First, we want to bring our mind into this one pointedness. So just really sensing the breath flowing through your nostrils and let that pull your mind's attention to the space where the nose bones meet the brow bone and in that third eye space. Take a few breaths, and no matter how many times your mind wanders, if you're vata imbalanced, that means you're kind of spacey, wandering, daydreaming. It's a nice place to be, but let's draw it back in. So we're bringing the earth energy even into our mind as well as our body. Kapha, the energy of earth, settled, connected. Five more breaths here. Give yourself this time to practice being focused in the mind, grounded in the body. One more full breath in and out, paying attention to the full length of the breath. And bring the palms together. You're going to rub the hands together, create heat between the hands. And then placing the palms over the eyes gently, just cupping the eyes. Again, this is an opportunity to focus the gaze inward, to awaken the inner eye, the third eye, the place of wisdom and intuition, imagination, and intellect. Clear the mind so we can be fully present. Keeping the eyes closed, release the hands. Let your chin come to your throat. Feel the length in the back of the neck, keeping the chest lifted. And then gently blink open your eyes. Just let the gaze be soft. And then turn and take your chin across to one shoulder, looking over one shoulder. And then bring it back down, drag it across the collarbones and the other one. And so just give that neck some lovely range of motion. Exhale as you move. Inhale as you lift. Bring it back into center. And then gently lift your head up. Okay. Once again, close your eyes. So we're going to do this throughout the practice, even when we're standing, eyes closed down. We draw our attention right to Agna Chakra, third eye center, and drop into the breath and invite that sense of meditative awareness. So meditative awareness is a little bit more diffused than the focus. It's about expanding your attention from that point of focus in your third eye to your environment. Just be aware of how you feel in the space around you. The temperature of the air, sense of light behind your lids, any external sounds, and your imagination can be envisioning what your external world looks like. And envisioning yourself, your precious human body, sitting in this space and time. And just being aware. This is meditative awareness. Allow one more full deep breath in and out to flow through your body. And then again, blink open your eyes. You're going to lean back and bring your legs forward. Give your knees some love. You can always just sit like this if that folding of the knees is too much. Give them some love. Give them a little massage. Okay, if you're sitting on a bolster, make sure your sitting bones are right on the edge so the pelvis can drop. Let's take one leg up, hold the knee on the outside, lift up and hold the heel. And then you want to pull back so your chest lifts. We don't want to be rounding back. We want to lift the heart. And then just check in with the hip joint. As you're moving your knee back and forth, look at your foot and make sure it's not sickling. This is sickling when you turn the outer edge longer. So push out through the big toe mound so that you're evenly aligned through your ankle, which helps you be evenly aligned in your knee. Just opening that up, and then we're going to bring it across and lift it, and maybe even put your elbow there. Just give it a little lift so you're feeling deep into the gluteal area. Notice how that feels. Give the baby a little love. Some of you might be able to bring the other elbow around, but again, keep the foot activated. And I'm going to just turn because I'm going to show you my. So really lifting, so not rounding back. If bringing the leg closer rounds the back, release and move the leg away. So just hold into that place in your hip. Drop your gaze down, maybe even close your eyes. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. So you're just hugging up against the point of opening. We could call it opening. You might think of it as resisting, where you feel sensation. One more deep breath. The idea is to allow those tissues to open. And then we're going to take that down, and you might want to release the knee again if that was a lot of compression. Give it a little love, just massaging around the kneecap. And then just bring the leg up, and you can put this foot anywhere between the ankle and the thigh. I like it a little higher, but if that's too much compression, then put your foot lower. And always the option is to support that knee. So if there's any pressure in the knee joint or any joint, you always want to create more support. Okay. So half forward fold. We're going to take the hands to the side, turn the torso towards the straight leg. We're going to go into this what's called Vini style, or as to Vini yoga, which is the process of hatha as taught by Patabi Joyce, by Desikachar. And it's all about moving slowly and gently. So we take the arms overhead, and we're going to warm up to the form by bringing the hands down, pulling the heart forward, feeling where you feel the back of the body, the back of the leg, and then gently round over. And on inhalation, reverse it. Bring the head up, the heart up, the spine up, and the arms up. And then do it again. Arms come down, lean forward, and ease into it. So we're warming up the tissues. Inhalation, reverse. And refining the action. So I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see when you come forward, the arms come first, so you keep the spine long, and then start to round. Maybe your hands come further this time. And then one more time coming up. So asana has 3 aspects. The first aspect is moving into the pose properly. Coming forward and rounding over. Now stay and breathe and be. So come back to that meditative awareness. You don't need to be rigid. You might find yourself gently refining the form, holding the foot if that's comfortable. If it's too intense, slightly backing out, but staying with this shape of half forward fold, or what's called Janu Shirshasana, head of knee pose. So you're bringing your attention to the head of the knee, moving closer, breathing and softening where you can. Relax the face and jaw. Relax the shoulders. Let the torso lean forward against whatever's resistance you're feeling. And then feel into that. Is it your leg? Is it your back? Where do you feel your body holding back? Or maybe it's supporting you. And drop into that rhythmic breath that allows you to ease into the shape. Soften where you can. Maybe the toes and the foot. Certainly keep things aligned, but do so in a way that feels easeful. You're going to take 2 more breaths here, so make them count. That last exhalation, lift the pelvic floor and engage the lower abdomen, holding that support system, hands under your shoulders. Inhale slowly, slowly coming up. Taking the arms overhead. And then you're going to turn towards the bent knee. I'm just going to rearrange myself, bring the opposite hand to the bent knee. So we're turning the hand behind you, just gently on the fingertips, and rotate through the rib cage. Find that first point of resistance, pause, refine the alignment of the neck and shoulders. Spine is lifted, sitting bones grounded. Now hold up against that point of twisting deep in the spinal column, giving a little squeeze to your internal organs. And now your eyes can either be closed or you could open them and take your eyes as far around to the back ear as possible and give a little activation to your eye muscles. Each inhalation brings you a little more length in your spine. Each exhalation, a little more squeeze to the core. Where can you let go of any unnecessary holding? One more squeeze with the exhalation. And let the inhalation unwind you first, starting with the head, shoulders, and ribs. Then we're going to straighten that leg out. Give the knee a little rub. Take the other leg up, holding the outer knee and the heel, and rock the baby. I like to call it. Say hello to your hip. See what you're feeling. Bring it up closer if you can. And then bring it up and just hold at your resistance. Now I'm not as loose on this side because I'm just not. Okay, so it's nice. Isn't it funny? This is my new hip. New hip's great. Get another one. A little tighter on that one. Oh, there we go. And then breathing. Relaxing the eyes downward or even closing them. And again, come back to that meditative awareness. So you're aware of your internal environment, what you're feeling in the shape, the breath that's flowing, the energy that's awakening, while also being aware of your body in this space, whatever is surrounding you. Just to be aware of it, not distracted by it, but just being aware. I tend to move a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I tend to kind of very subtly rock around, move around. It's just what my body likes to do. You might be holding specifically or moving slightly. Just notice. Notice what comes naturally. And then we're going to release that foot down. If you need to release the knee first, do so. And then bring the foot to the inner edge of the leg. Now, when we sit like this, we want to actually square the pelvis. So when this knee bends, the hip wants to go back. So we're going to just encourage it to come forward. Okay, pubic bone down, arms overhead, inhale. And then releasing the arms first. So we lead with the heart. Feel into the back of that leg, the back of your spine. And then with inhalation, reverse it. Feel how you come out of the form. That's the third phase of the asana. And finish that thought on the other side. So first phase, moving into the form. Second phase being there, which we'll do in a moment. Here we are, we're checking it out. And then third is coming out. One more time, lifting up. And then this time we'll hold the form. So move yourself into it. Settle in. And just drop into that meditative awareness. You can make slight refinements, but avoid being fidgety. There's a difference. The refinements are kind of a more natural movement that your body's just naturally falling into better alignment, releasing, awakening. Awareness of the space around you while focusing at that space of Ajna Chakra, your wisdom mind. Two more finishing breaths. Moving your hands under your shoulders for support and inhaling your way up. Back body opening. Take the leg out. Love the knee. Now from here, I am going to turn sideways just for demo. Take the knees up a little bit. You're going to put the feet on the floor. Hold the backs of the legs. This is a lot to start with, but when you start with forward folds, first thing, you're going to feel them more because we're not really warmed up. So we're lifting the chest, which is good. The more we feel, the more we know what's happening. From here, leaning forward, hands come down, option to stay like this and then lean over. Let's try that on. Lift the head, lift the heart. Option to move a little bit further out with the feet. You could also take the heels to the floor and the toes up. Take a breath, open the heart, hinge. Maybe support either on the legs or and round. Inhale up. Adjust either closer or further away. So you could eventually bring it all the way out or not. Make sure your feet are pelvic width apart. Lift, come forward, and then round. Now this is a lot. Full forward bend, Paschimottanasana. If it feels comfortable, you might grab your feet. Not everyone's going to do that. Your hands may be back by your shoulders. Drop in. Soften your belly at this point. And again, come back to that meditative awareness. Watching how your physical body responds to the form. Noticing where your breath and energy are flowing. Observing any communications in the mind. Invite affirmation and gratitude. So affirming what you're feeling. Thankful for this time to connect. One more breath here. Make it count by being fully present. And then using your hands for support. Drawing up. Now bring the hands behind you. A little reverse. Hands behind. Fingertips can be away at first because we're going to keep the hips on the ground. And then just draw up through the heart. Chin can come to the throat. See the chest lifting. So we're bringing that spine now into a backward bend or extension. And then depending on your neck, you could slide the head back and bring the cervical curve into extension. That feels safe. Lift the chest. Now relax the toes a little bit now that we're here. And hold this shape. Meditative awareness. Being in this form and breathing. Allow for refinements to happen. Like I just felt a little more lift from the chest. Spine moving a little more deeply into the body. Another breath or two, maybe reaching a little deeper or lightening up. Now, if your head is back, leave it back as you bring your chest forward, and then your head will follow. So you have to lift all that weight, right? Back to center. Woo. Feel that rush of energy along the back body. Now bring the feet to the floor. You want to make sure you're not on your blanket. And this time the fingertips face your hips, okay, behind. And make sure that your hands are shoulder width or maybe even a little bit wider than your shoulders. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your heart, okay? And feel into your hands. Can you get a sense of support under your hands and then under your feet? And then we're going to lift the hips off the ground and feel into that. Hips, feet and hands supporting you, chin down. Option to stay there or squeeze the buttocks and lift up. Stay here, or the last option is to drop the head back and breathe. About 5 breaths here. Meditative awareness, just really take it all in. If it's too much at all, back off to the next stage. Final breath, and then slowly lowering the hips, letting the head come around. The arms around, it's a lot on the shoulders and wrists. So round it, back and forth, release the shoulders. And then interlace the fingers, and you're going to stretch the wrists in the opposite direction. Just circle them around like that. Okay. We're going to do it one more time with another option. And you know, it's really good. Even though that's a fiery action on your wrist, it's really important to do this on a regular basis so that these bones stay strong. Just in case you fall down and try and catch yourself with your hands. You don't want to break your wrist bones. Okay? So I'm coming back up on the bolster. Hands behind. You could even turn the fingers out. How does that feel in your shoulders? Right? So adjust so the shoulders feel safe. Option to repeat exactly what you did or do a little bit less. Or here's the other option, take the feet out, away from you, straight legs. Okay, so we're going to come up on with that. That might not be what you want to do. Check it out. Lift the chest. First set the upper body. Breathe. And then squeeze the buttocks and bring it up and try and touch your toes down. Option head back. Let the back body lift the front body. Breathe. Feel. Slowly come down. Turn to upright. Bring the arms around, interlace the fingers, relax the shoulders, and release the wrists. Pravottanasana, that's called. East side opening. So let's come over onto all fours. That's a big one. I haven't done that one for a while. The front of the body is known as the east side of the body. So we face east when we're doing our morning sun salutations. Okay, you can do that. Do that on your own when you're not in class. We're going to do that today together. But first, we're going to start down here on all fours. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders slightly. Hips directly over the knees. Now, sink your ribs, sink your spine, and feel yourself opening the front line of the body. So the pubic bone moves away from the navel, lengthening that lower belly, and then the rib cage lifts up, lengthening from navel to heart. Press into the arms and turn your biceps forward. So you have lots of space around the collarbones. And then just be sure you're not lifting with your nose. Lift from the back of your neck. So you've got space in your neck with that lovely curve. Really lengthen the front line of the torso. You might want your toes curled under to help kind of push that heart forward a little more. Keep breathing. Feeling that opening. And we're going to lead with the front body. So as we exhale, focus on lifting, scooping up the lower belly, scooping up the navel, hugging in the ribs, lifting the heart away from the ground, and then go ahead and lift the heel, the hand up, so you can lift the armpits and arms and wrists away from the ground. So you're rounding as much as you can and squeezing the front line of the torso, giving a nice hug to your internal organs and breathing repetitively while we hold this pose. And then planting the hands from the front line of the body. Move the pubic bone away from the navel, lift the rib cage, open the throat, and now we flow, moving with the awareness in the front of the body. Just notice how that feels. Instead of putting your focus on the back of the body, just on the front of the body. And I got this, my teacher, Judith Lasser, just did a little mini workshop on cat-cow. And I say the same, never underestimate the benefits of cat-cow. This is really something you want to do daily to massage our internal organs and our spinal column and maintain mobility in our hips and shoulders. We're going back and forth a few more times. And even though we're moving, flowing with the breath, we can still bring in that meditative awareness. Deep listening, aware of all we're feeling, and sensing those natural refinements that occur as your body starts to align so that energy flows more freely. One more time into cat pose. Lean back a little bit more just to bring it into the lower spine, a little deeper. And then plant the hands, open the front line of the body, and we're going to take it into dog. So toes curled under, keep the front line open at first. So bring your knees off the floor and open the front of the torso. So you're in a little bit of a back bend. Push into your arms, and then lifting from your bottom, move back into your arm bones, into your shoulders, and then bringing the neck neutral, start to lengthen, bringing the front body up a little bit, those front ribs in, still keeping the pubic bone away from the navel, but the front ribs come in. Now let's walk out the feet a little bit. Press one heel and then the other. Both heels come high, bend the knees again, retract the spine long, feel it lengthen from hip to armpit, and then lower the heels to the first point of length in the Achilles, the calves, and then lift the sitting bones to bring into the hamstrings. 3 more breaths here, just being in this form of Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you exhale, check in and connect the core muscles of the pelvic floor and the lower abdomen. Turn your gaze up, bend your knees, walk your feet up towards your hands. Bring your hands back towards your legs. Let your elbows flare and gently curl and bend your knees as much as you want to. Elbows on the thighs. Push through the forearms to lift the head and the heart. Sink back into your hips so your knees are behind your toes. Find that grounding. So just as we begin with that earthly connection, we want to hold on to that. Imagine your roots moving through the 4 corners of your feet, deep and wide. Pressing into your heels to feel your booty awaken. Anchoring down. Feel the muscles of the legs gently hugging the bones. Feel the legs hugging towards midline. That's going to help awaken that pelvic floor. And then turn your gaze a little more forward and lift your heart up further, but keep your hips down. And then take the arms forward. As the arms come forward, draw the arm bones, the shoulders back. You might even have to take your hands a little wider from each other. Find that lengthening through the arms while keeping the shoulders in their socket. We're allowing the hips to awaken, press into the heels, and then slowly come up. Bringing the arms overhead. Good. And then keeping that length through your spine, let your arms come out to the side. Roll the shoulders. And then plug in your mountain pose. Close your eyes or take your gaze out in front of you and take a few breaths in Tadasana. So we did a lot to open the back and the front body in our floor positions. Notice how it feels now that you're standing. And can you bring back that sense of meditative awareness? So just standing here, being aware of your internal environment, focusing the mind here and now. And from that focus, then move into attention and expand your awareness to all that surrounds you, staying connected to the inside. And then turn your palms open, bring your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra, and set a personal intention, like what brings you here today? What's your internal motivation for getting on the mat? With this shared intention today of meditative awareness, so that as we move into our day, we stay centered and calm and cool on these hot summer days. Now release the hands down, shake out the hands, and we're going to shift and move this off the mat and just step towards the long edge of the mat or face the camera. Bring your feet wider, okay, just like a little more than shoulder width. So this awareness Focused attention and expanded awareness is really fun throughout the day. I've been experimenting a lot. I've had a lot of social settings, birthdays, and I don't know, all kinds of things, all kinds of celebrations, okay? So a lot of people, a lot of the time. And it's really an interesting place to practice this when everything's going on around you. And, you know, even if you're just out and about in town, to just drop into that meditative awareness. First, tap into your own body, mind, and get centered again so we don't get vata imbalance, means spacing out, or you don't get overheated. And then being aware, just really taking in the environment, the people, the places, the textures, the color, the light. And it's really a nice way to sink in and be present without having to be too involved, without overextending our energy. So that's why I'm motivated to teach this today. I find it to be really helpful in social settings. So I just turned the feet out a little bit because that's just what started happening naturally. It was not a thought, it was just my body. We're gonna open up the hands, let the breath go. And with inhalation, draw the arms up. Feet are super grounded, and we're gonna bring the hands right down that central axis, bending the knees, hands come to the thighs and sink down. Then pressing down, feel the lift of the quadriceps, feel the lift of the abdomen, opening up the heart. And then sweep the arms around, spread your energy around, and bring it right back to your heart. Let's reverse. Inhale, taking it around, and gather what you need. And bring that in and root down. Draw back up through center. And when we get what we need, and we take care of filling our own reservoir, now we can spread our energy around and offer. Reverse, receive, pull that in. We're gonna add one more movement. Keep the heart up and just stretch through the back of the legs. Say hello, sinking the roots a little bit more, and then up through center. And then share. So when we take care of balancing our own energy, we end up having a very, let's say, chill vibration. Okay? So what kind of vibration are we putting out into the world? Right? Now let's let it flow a little, softening in the shoulders, still strong in the legs, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So this is a movement that could build heat, but if you do it with a sense of ease, we're just going to awaken energy, not build too much heat. Really feeling. So here we can still take in that deep connection internally. And aware of the external. This time we'll just stop at the center. Take a hand to the top of the thighs and turn your heels out a little bit so your toes are straight forward. And then push your thighs forward. The only time I tell you to do that, take the thighs back. Just feel what happens in the hips. We move from the thighs. This time as you go forward, now you're going to swing to the side and around. Big circles with the hips. And then you can just bring your elbows by your side and let your wrists hang. Call this puppy dog pose with the hands, kind of like just right there, or water dripping off your fingertips. Take your gaze to one location, either up at the wall in front of you or out a window if you've got one, or down to the earth. Just keep circling. It's excellent for the hip joint itself. Moving the breath, stir it up. Bringing that sense of fluidity into our form. When you're ready, change direction. Bring your gaze back to a neutral location. Eyes are open, yet focused in that third eye region. So you're looking through this perch of wisdom, intuition, intelligence. And then we're going to bring it right into center and let the arms go. Draw it back in, feet underneath your hip joints. Shake it out a little bit, just shaking the knees and the shoulders. Okay, turn the palms open, let your breath go. Let's take it up, and this time grab the wrist. So you're going to take one wrist and pull it over, side bend, taking the spine forward and back, and twist it. Now we got the side opener. Hold there, keeping the feet relaxed, and then turn the head up and down. Turning in the neck, keeping the jaw and face soft. And then we'll turn down, bring the gaze down, just lean into it. Take a few breaths there. Ease in. Very little effort, just like gravity and the shape of the form. Bring awareness to new territories. Stay with it and take a full deep breath in, then empty out all the way. And let your inhalation bring you to center. And release your arms as you exhale. You move with the breath. We're not in a hurry. Tadasana once again with the palms open. Release the breath and then inhale, arms up. Reaching over, grabbing the other wrist. Lengthen the side body as you move to the side. We're not crumpling over, we're arcing over. Give the neck some motion. And then bringing the chin down to the lower collarbone. Let the head hang a bit. Lean out into that hip that's moving away from you. Reach up a little bit more through that top elbow, perhaps. And breathe into that upper body. One more full breath in and out. You can float up as you inhale and let the arms come down as you exhale. Roll the shoulders. You turn sideways so you can see. Interlace your hands behind you. Place them on your sacrum. Walk your feet shoulder width apart if they're not there already. Squeeze the shoulder blades. So much like we did when we were seated, we're going to open the chest. The option is to open the throat as well. A little standing back bend. Your hands on your sacrum can remind you to bring the tailbone down, belly up. Really lift from the heart. It's not about thrusting your pelvis forward. Not to do that. Keep your hips more over your ankles and let the back bend be in your thoracic spine, your rib cage, and your cervical spine. Now bend your knees a whole bunch and slowly bring your chest forward. Your head will follow. Then let your head hang. Maybe move it around a little bit to release the neck. Hands are still interlaced on your sacrum. And then draw the arm bones towards each other. The shoulder blades squeeze. Then finally, let the hands float towards the sky or maybe overhead. That's too much. Check it out. Rearrange. Stay and breathe. Bend or straighten the legs as much as feels appropriate. Relax in the form. Readjust as your body is speaking to you. Like I've had a little bit too much tension in my left shoulder. So instead of staying there and starting to suffer, I'm going to rearrange the arms a little bit. It doesn't have to go out of the pose all the way, just not going quite as deep. So you find that happy place. Your body's feeling cared for. One more breath here. Enjoy it. The first thing you're going to do is release your hands back to your sacrum and then go ahead and slide your hands down your legs. Give your legs some love with your open palm, coming down towards the ankles. And then bring them back up to your knees. Bend your knees a little bit and pushing with your hands, lift your chest and press your head back. So you're looking at the ground. Take a breath here. And then push to the strength of your legs to stand up. Arms overhead. And right back into center. Breath in and out. And then let's turn and step wide on our mat. So that was a very slow half salutation, taking the time in each form today. If you want to block, these could be good. Place them on the long edge of the mat. Okay. Step wide. Find the width that's just right for you so you feel solid. And just like we did with our feet close together, press the thighs forward and around in a circle. That's what it feels like to have this different stance. Take the gaze up onto the wall or out a window. So you're aware of your outer environment as you stay attentive to what's going on the inside. And not just in the physical body, but really noticing energetically how you're feeling and checking in with that psycho-emotional layer. What thoughts are transpiring through this movement? What emotions are present? Change direction, circle the other way. Notice how it feels to move slowly through your hips. Okay, we're going to come right into center and move the hips right to left. And then we're going to go all the way to your right. I'm nearing you now. I'm going to turn that whole leg. Make sure you turn on the heel or step your foot even a little bit more to the side. Okay. And in all standing poses, the back leg is our anchor. So you're going to push your back heel out a little and super ground to the back leg, squeezing the muscles up in the quadricep and moving the pelvis back a little. Make sure you're not pushing hard into your joint. Reaching down that leg a little, just really feel into that. Let's take the other arm, the right hand up, and get that weight into that back leg. I'm even going a little bit wider between my feet now that I feel that action. So set your foundation. Take a moment to really find that just right distance. So you can plug in your roots. Take the pelvis in line with the heels. Move the pubic bone away from the navel and open your heart. Now bring your top arm and reach it directly out in front of you, parallel to the earth. You're going to turn your palm down, and then moving from your pelvis, you can even put your hand on your lower belly. Push your belly back as you reach your chest forward. Feel that anchor point as you're hinging. And then lower the hand either to the shin, the block, whatever feels right. And then check in. You want to roll the chest open, and then again, return to that strength in the back leg as you roll your heart open, turning from the rib cage, and then option to reach the other arm up. Now, take a moment and refine. Plugging in the back leg in Utthita Trikonasana, opening up the front line of the body. Maybe turn the head down because we're going to stay and breathe. And find ease in the form. So yes, there's some effort in maintaining the alignment, the strength of our legs, but let those roots be strong support, not over efforted, but just supporting you. So your torso can relax, your rib cage can lengthen, heart open, and then adjust the head so the neck is happy. And sense your energy body expanding in 5 directions, both all 4 limbs and the length of your spine. One more full deep breath in and out. And then to come out of this form, we're going to simply bend the front knee. So nothing more, just bend the front knee. Okay. And then lift your top arm so you can bring your forearm to your thigh and bring your top bicep to your ear. So into extended side angle. Open the heart, heart floats up, head is light, hips are grounded, and breathe. One more breath here. Hold the form in the lower body. Let the top arm come around. Turn your torso towards the earth. You could use your block under that hand if that's comfortable. And then rotate your back heel off the ground so you come into a square of the pelvis. Other hand to the ground. Okay, and make sure your feet are hip distance apart. So set your foundation. Lift your head and your heart, and then tap the knee down and roll open the chest. And then lift up from the pelvis and straighten the back leg and maybe straighten the front leg a bit. Repeat. Come forward, head up, heart open. Tap down to open to the hip flexors. Lift from your pelvis, not pushing through your knees. Lifting, lifting, and feel that same cat pose of lifting from your front body. And as you start to lower, lengthen your front body. So what we did in cat-cow in the very beginning, can you reenact that? Lift from your front body, straightening the legs, and then open the front body. Maybe coming up a little further. I'm going to move this. Lift from the front body and down. I'll show you a modified version just in case. You could keep the knee down, pull up the front body, and draw back over the knee. And as you come forward, lengthen the front body. Maybe bring the hands up. Let's do that a few more times. So as you release, again, let the front of the body curl in. And then the front of the body open up. Maybe the arms come overhead. So you can really play with the details of the form while still maintaining that focused attention of moving from the front line of the body and feeling your spine change position. I'm going to take it back this time over the knee. And then front line opens. One more time, you'll come down and round over, hugging up the belly in high or low lunge. And then come down to the knee on the ground, toenails click in the back foot. Lift and open, this time arms overhead or to the knee if that's better, and breathe. I personally like to bend the elbows and place my hand behind my head So I can rest my head on the hands. Take a few breaths here. Allow your body to respond to the shape. And then unwind it. Curl in the front body, lift the knee off the ground, step back, and come into your downward dog. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Lengthen the front body, bringing the spine to neutral. Okay. And breathe. Keep in mind that down dog is a resting pose, meant to be a resting pose. When you get everything aligned perfectly, it's a wonderful triangle. There's a lot of strength in the shape of a triangle. From here, bend the knees, look forward, walk your feet towards your hands. Bring your hands towards your shins and raise up halfway just to get everything aligned, standing on your own 2 feet, and then curl in. Take a few breaths there. Bend the knees a lot, hands on your thighs. We're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Feel that. Then turn and let's do the other side. So you might want both blocks. I know at one point I was wishing I had both blocks. So make that so. Let's step wide. Little head rushy. That's a lot of energy when you move slow, huh? So nice and wide, rotate the pelvis. And we're going to rotate to the side and turn out on the heel and really ground the back leg. Check your foundation. Lean back a little and open up. Turning your gaze over the front foot. As you hold this form, it's a great place to check in. Make sure you've got lots of spaciousness in the joints of your hips. Not thrusting the hips forward. That would lock the joint. You want softness in the joints. Firm tissues around them, but soft in the joint. And then reach the arm forward, maybe hand on the belly to push the pelvis back as your chest comes forward. Drop the hand down, block if you want it. Not in a hurry. Get the pubic bone back and then rotate ribs. Check in. Float up. Heart wide open. Choose your head position so your neck is happy. And then breathe and receive. Again, 5 channels of energy flowing here. Notice how it feels on this side. For me, I think this side's easier for me, but also oftentimes the second side feels easier because you already did it on one side. So your body's like, oh, I know what to do here. Each exhalation affirming your foundation, your sense of support, your presence. And each inhalation, that expansion, receptivity. Turning the head down if it's not down already, your face down. Okay. And then you're going to keep a lift to the top arm as you bend the front knee, unweight the torso so you can bring the forearm to the thigh and sinking into the hips. Now stretch that top side body. Make sure this lower shoulder is drawn back. Let the heart wide open, collarbones broad. Then lean back into your shoulder blades, throat open, breath easy. Mudra size your lower hand so it's not some weird position. Soften the palm and breathe. Now awakening that top side body and the strength of your legs. Maybe open a little more by turning the rib cage up towards the sky. Last breath. Top arm sweeps around. Turning the shoulders. Turning the pelvis as the heel comes off the ground. Lengthening the front line of the body to touch the knee down. Front line of the body opens. And then scoop up the belly, round the back, and lunge rocks. This is a high lunge. Coming down, open. Start from the front line. Scoop up the belly. Maybe you go over the knee and stay low. Open, perhaps open a little further. Scoop the belly up. And notice how it feels to lead through the front of the spine. Another time, both directions. High or low. And we'll come into that crescent moon. Hold the form, hands on your thigh or overhead. Adjust the arms so the shoulders feel open and supported. One more full deep breath in and out, softening in the form. As the hands come down this time, we're going to stay down on the knees, draw the knee back, move your blocks to the side, walk your hands way out, and then sink into prayer pose. So from the knees, drop the forehead towards the floor. If you can't touch the forehead to the floor, you can put a block down, place your forehead on a block, soften your belly, soften your shoulders, soften your breath. Pressing firmly into your hands, take another breath in and out, the final one here. And then pushing down, lift the front side of the body, walk your knees towards your hands. Come over your knees in some way so you can sit down. Okay. If you need something under your head, put a blanket there. Reach out or hold your thighs and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Place your feet shoulder width apart. Arms open at your side. Turn your head right to left. So maybe you've noticed that we did a lot with the neck today to actually strengthen the neck. So when we're turning the head in our asana, it is purposeful. Strength and mobility. Come to center. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and then drop both knees to one side, keeping the feet wide. Relax the weight of your pelvis and just bring the top knee up till it pulls the bottom leg. Now, I know both of you know this, but it is amazing. Anyone that's new to this, there's just such a tendency to bring both legs up at the same time. And if you really pay attention and maybe do a little comparison on your own body, you'll understand why I'm so adamant about this. Turn your head away in the opposite direction of the knees. Flow with your breath. I like to inhale once the knees are down so I get a big opening through the front side of the body, and then exhale over to the other side. And you might find your breath moving the opposite direction. Just notice. Then we're going to make our way into center when you're ready. Bring the arms lower, and you could place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, elbows resting on the ground. Okay. Then stretch one leg out and the other, shoulder width apart. This is one option. Just let the feet relax, let the legs relax, stay like this. Or if you're open for it, take the arms out really wide. And let go. Relax your jaw. Maybe take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth once more. Then allow the lips to touch softly. Swallow. Relax your tongue. And invite the breath through the nostrils. So as the breath comes in through the nostrils, follow it right up to the bridge of the nose, up to that third eye center. Let it continue down the windpipe into your lungs, but keep your attention up there at your wisdom center. Allow your wise woman to be perched here, observing all that you've created for your precious human body, all the awakening, the releasing, the movement, the stillness. Observe the effects. Acknowledge what feels right, what feels beneficial. And then let your awareness, that focused awareness, begin to diffuse and feel your whole body, the surface of your skin, the floor beneath you, the ground supporting you. Sensing the air against your skin. Sensing the spaciousness of your environment. And sink into a meditative space. Observing and absorbing. Enjoy 3 more breaths here. Where can you let go? With your next inhalation, fill your body up all the way. Feel the breath come into the core of your being. And as you exhale, imagine that energy of the breath expanding like a radiant sun from the center of your body out through the periphery of your limbs, the crown of your head. Expand your energy on the exhale. And then take another deep breath into your core, maybe bringing your hands into your core. Exhale, energy radiating outward. Yanavayu, that outward flowing energy of your vibration. Allow your knees to bend as you inhale, feet on the floor. Exhale, roll to the side. Feel the body expressing through the back side. Radiate your energy out the back. Deep breath in, filling yourself up. Use your hands for support as you exhale your way off the floor. Find a comfortable seat. Deep breaths in and out. Each inhalation, that opportunity to receive all that you need to renew your wellspring, to stay connected within. So that as we exhale, we're not just letting go of what we don't need, but we're actually releasing our own vibration, letting our light shine. Notice what you're sharing with those around you. You can be a beacon of light, or better yet, a beacon of love. Your hands float together at your heart space in Anjali Mudra. As you plug in your hips and legs to the earth, let your heart raise, your head feel light and clear. Chin drops slightly to honor the wisdom of the heart along with that wisdom of the mind. And see yourself moving through this day gracefully, staying cool and connected. Namaste. Thanks for being here. So repeat this often.